Welcome to Klein's Geometry. Today we're going to talk about how to find the area of a regular polygon, lesson 9-2. We are going to look at first the formula to memorize, which is right here, and you folks need to write that down in your notebook right now. Big deal, we're going to use that quite a bit. Area equals 1/2 apothem times perimeter. And you will see it written this way, and you know A stands for the apothem and P stands for the perimeter. So pause the video right now and write that down. Okay, good. Now I know you got that written down and you're thinking, where did it come from? Let's consider a regular pentagon where all the sides are congruent and all the angles are congruent. It might look something like this figure right here. Notice there's 5 sides because it's a pentagon. I labeled one side length 6 inches. We want to find the area. What I did with this pentagon is I drew a center point, and from that center point I made lines connecting the center to each vertex of the pentagon. And what that did, you'll notice, is it made 5 triangles. So let's look at how we might find the area of one triangle and just multiply it by 5. That would be one way to do this, right? So to find the area of one triangle, I would need the formula 1/2 base times height. And we'll look at this triangle right here. And I can see that the base has a length of 6. 1/2 times 6. Now remember that the height of a triangle comes from the base to the opposite vertice, and it's perpendicular to the base. So that's going to be a little more difficult to figure out. But we just came fresh off a trig course, so what we're going to do is we're going to use that trigonometry to find this height, which is also actually the apothem of the pentagon. Now, what we need to think about is we need an angle. We need the angle of that little part of the triangle. So because this, if you want to do a cutout of this, let's make it a little bigger over here. This is 6, that whole length, which makes this 3 and this side 3. If I knew an angle, just this part of it, I would be able to say the tangent of that angle is the opposite over the adjacent leg, and I could find the apothem. Here's what I do know. I know that all of the degrees of a circle is 360. So to find my angle measure, I can say 360 divided by, well, one side of the triangle gives me 2 of these little angles, so 5 sides times 2 little right triangles per side. You can see we'd actually get 10 angles there. So 360 divided by 10, 36 degrees for this angle. And no matter what regular pentagon you've got, you can do 360 divided by 2 times the number of sides. So to find an angle, you might put in your notes, your apothem notes, find angle, 360 divided by 2 times n. That'll give you your central angle measure to find your apothem. Okay, so now I know mine is 36 degrees, so the apothem is going to be, I know I can set up the relationship. The tangent of 36 degrees equals the opposite side, 3, over the adjacent leg, which is my apothem. And remember, this 3 comes from half of the leg. Okay? So now remember, you can make these two things switch places because it's multiplying by A and then dividing by the tangent of 36. And the apothem is 3 over the tangent of 36 degrees. So here, once we've got our angle, we know the apothem equals half the side divided by the tangent of the angle measure. That will give you the apothem every time. So we've got that. Now coming back here, that's the height of my triangle. So now I'm going to say, to find the area of that triangle, I'm going to have 1/2 times the height, 3 over the tangent of 36, times the base, and I have to multiply all of that by 5 triangles in the pentagon. That would give me my area. Now, another way to think of that, there's the area. Another way to think of that, well, let's just do that first. Check your mode. Okay, I'm in degree mode. I'm good. 5 times 1/2 times 3 divided by the tangent of 36 degrees. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do times 6 so I don't end up with in the denominator. And there would be my area, approximately equal to 61.94, and I had inches, so that would be square inches. Now another way to look at this, if you thought about our formula, we have 1/2 times the apothem, and the perimeter of the entire pentagon is a side length 6 times 5 triangles. So that's where this formula comes from. 1/2, 5 times the side length is the perimeter. Here's my apothem, and 1/2 is from the area formula triangle. How do we find a perimeter? Well, let's put this in our notes also. The perimeter equals the side length times the number of sides. So that's how we're going to find our perimeter. It's just the side length times the number of sides. So let's do one more problem. Sounds lots more complicated than it really is. It's actually pretty easy stuff, and let's do this one step at a time. We want to find the area of a regular hexagon with side length 8 inches. Okay, so we write down our formula first. That's always the first thing. Step 2, find the perimeter. Well, we know perimeter equals the number of sides, hexagon, 6 sides, times 8 inches. So 3 times 8 is 24. 24 and 24 is 48 inches. There's my perimeter. I can put that right in the formula. I am halfway there already. Now all I need is my apothem. Well, you look at this triangle. This is just a cutout of one triangle over the hexagon. And I know to find my angle measure, it's 360 divided by 2 times the number of sides. Well, in a hexagon, that's 6 sides, so 6 times 2 is 12. 36 divided by 12 is 3. There's a 0. My angle measure is 30 degrees. Okay? Now, that means I can find my apothem by saying the tangent of 30 degrees equals 5, half the side length, divided by the apothem. Okay? And that means if I wanted to solve this for the apothem, multiply by A, and I'd have A apothem times the tangent of 30 equals 5, and then divide by the tangent of 30, and that's the expression for my apothem. I'm going to put this right into my formula just the way it is. I'm not going to simplify it till the end. So I'm just going to put 5 over the tangent of 30 degrees. Right there. So that's all you need to do. Now your last step is to just multiply it all together. So let's do that now. Again, make sure you are in degree mode. 0.5, 1/2, times, in parentheses, 5 divided by the tangent of 30, times my perimeter, 48, and there we go. approximately equal to 207.85 square inches. There's my area. That's all you need to do. So, quick recap. Write down your formula. Find out the perimeter, number of sides times the side length. Find the apothem. Get your central angle by dividing 360 by 2 times the number of sides. And then write the tangent of that angle equals half the side length over the apothem. Solve it for the apothem. Put that into your formula and run it through. Hope this helps, folks. Please replay the video as needed while you're working on these problems the first time so it doesn't get too tricky. And good luck and see you in class.